Yo, guys. The kids here. Stuff to talk about, guys. Stuff to talk about and so forth. Malta Guinness are not paying me anything, but I'm going to drink a Malta Guinness. Neither are yellow M&Ms, but I'm going to eat those as well. But, as I say, guys, welcome to the show and so forth. We thank you. We bring here, thank you for the... This, we give it our real stuff. We give it our real stuff and so forth. Yes, I'm wearing something on my head. Okay, I'm wearing something on my head. Okay, I may look like Bob Marley. Sorry. You're muted. Sorry.
Oh,
You're muted. All right, but I don't know any kind of reggae. Yeah, man, Rastafarian.
why do you call them yellow M&Ms instead of peanut M&Ms? Like you call them by the color of the bag instead of what the M&M actually is?
I would just say like the M&Ms in the yellow packets. That's what I would say. So best snacks in the world.
Peanut M&Ms.
So no yellow M&Ms. So guys, remember, guys, the link below Manscaped. This is our sponsors and so forth. Man, shave your balls, man. Shave your balls, man. Shave your balls, man. Shave your balls, man.
I left my shaver in the bathroom, obviously, because that's where it belongs. But
so guys, baby, in the description box below, click the link. Use the code CCS. And because we love you so much, you get 20% off. 20% off using the code CCS. There are sponsors, so get that Manscaped product just for you guys. Manscaped. Okay. Where should we start? That's the key thing. Where should we start? I know this is where I'd like to start, guys, personally, and then I can maybe just lead things, and then you guys can say what's up. I want to start first with Timo Werner, because I want to start by saying this. I'm not sure whether he knows how to play for football. Let's start there. It's like, I think a question needs to be asked, and I need you guys to help me here. I'm not sure whether this brethren knows how to play football. So it's one of two things. Either this is a confidence thing, or fraud has been done. Fraud on Red Bull Leipzig's part. You defrauded Chelsea Football Club because first touch, basic control, basic football IQ, the amount of times the thing's broken. If he didn't win that penalty, which was just stupidity from Eric Dyer, that was just completely stupid, this Timo Werner was pretty much useless in this game. So, because it's coming to a point where this is becoming a Morata thing. But I'm going to argue that maybe Timo Werner is a bit much more of a team player and helps the team build up a lot more than Morata did. Whereas Morata he was so bothered that he didn't score, he forgot team play. But I think Timo Werner is like, all right, I know that I should score and I'm not scoring, but he still wants to sort of help the team and so forth. But my Lord in heaven, just basic football stuff, this guy's not popping off. Because as I was watching that, I was like, you know what? Chelsea don't have a striker. Chelsea are not playing with a striker. Giroud is Giroud. You only get what you get from this guy. He is, hence why Montpellier, Arsenal, and so forth, a helper to France. That's it. Tamir Abraham, I don't think he's ready for this level. He's talented. He is ready for this level. For Timo Werner, what I said about Timo Werner is, I do see a goal scorer there. I see a goal scorer there, but what you're seeing is a guy that is greatly suffering from low confidence. And you ask any striker, they say that confidence is a massive thing that is connected with your performance, specifically for a striker, because football is about instinct. Boom! The moment, because stuff is happening so quickly in football, the moment that you pause and you think, the moment you second guess, you're done. You never second guess in football. There are times when you have time to think, but it's about sharpness, second nature, quick think, reactions, fast, sharp, pop off. And for Timo Werner, because the first touch is so key. Your first touch is the difference between you losing the ball, the defender dispossessing you, or you actually putting yourself in a good goal scoring position to now score. So once your first touch is off and your first touch is not really advancing into that scoring position, things ain't looking good. And you're now having a situation where what is a Hudson-Odoi is supposed to do? What are guys around Timo Werner supposed to do? Where it gets to the point where they're not even trusting you now to give you the ball. So, because as I looked at that game, I was like, because we can talk about the game in general, but I just wanted to start off with Timo Werner. Timo Werner was a great. There were other issues, but the greatest issue was your striker. You look at a Drogba, it sticks to him. Diego Costa, when he was actually normal, it sticks to him. Jimmy Fernando, for your striker, it's going to stick to you because here it's one of two. Either you're like a Drogba, Vieira Sokol type, or you're a David Villa type. Timo Werner, you're a David Villa type, which means that you have to be a footballing striker. You've got to be something. But then, as people in Germany tell me on Red Bull Leipzig is, Timo Werner never played by himself at Leipzig. He played with Poulsen. Insult Poulsen only once. He's a classy brick. Cool. As your boy Danny says, put him in the useful brick category. But Poulsen, combined with Timo Werner, helped Timo Werner. Poulsen was very much like what Benzema was for Cristiano. He was a great foil for him. Timo Werner needed another striker there with him. Either you put Giroud there or you put Tammy Abraham there. Cool, you have to sacrifice maybe one of the frontmen. It is what it is. It has to happen. But for me, you don't want to give up with a guy going through a confidence crisis, but this is crossroads for football. This is real football. Okay, I told you, Feb 23, easy, chill. Athletic, relax, chill. I'm not saying anything. Shh, I've learned my lesson. So, Daniel, help me out before I say something that will possibly incriminate me. Just keep talking before I mess myself up.
I mean, what do you want me to say? I mean, as maybe Chelsea should go by Poulsen to unlock it. Okay, this is what I think. You know how Manchester United have had issues with unlocking Paul Pogba, and they've gone through this series of midfielders, whether it's Ander Herrera, Matic, McTominay, Fred. All of these people were supposed to unlock Pogba. Perhaps Chelsea need to go on their own pursuit of unlocking. Is that beer? What are you up to?
Malta Guinness.
Oh, I was like, what?
Malt, bro.
I don't drink beer. Beer is ew.
I just saw the drunk bottle. I was like, what are we doing? This is water in here.
Sure.
I try not to drink sugary drinks. But anyway, maybe Chelsea need to go on their own kind of unlocking Werner pursuit. And let's try him with Tammy. Let's try him with Giroud. Let's try him with next guy. Go to the academy. Find somebody that might work with him. If the pursuit is trying to make him work. If you got to go through all those hoops, I don't think the payoff for Werner is probably like the payoff for Pogba would have been. So I don't know, man. It's just okay. You compare him to Morata. At least Morata could score with his head. Like at least he did have one use to where like Azpilicueta would put the one cross in, and you could get a goal that way. Timo Werner can't score with his head, so everything is reliant on his movement and his feet. And as I've been trying to tell you guys for a long time now, if you only buy a striker who can score goals for himself. That's kind of my idea. Like I would, if I was a director of football, the type of striker I would be looking for is one, obviously these aren't easy to find, but your Chelsea Football Club. So do your best. Somebody who can score a goal for himself. He's not reliant on crosses. He's not reliant on service. Somebody who can dribble and shoot and score. Timo Werner isn't that. He's reliant on the rest of the team functioning well and then feeding him, or even on top of that, he's a system player that relies on having a big guy next to him to where he can feed off the scraps and use his pace to get in behind.
System merchants? Are you saying the system merchants?
Those aren't my words.
Okay.
So yeah, Tuchel has a job. He has to figure out if Werner is the guy. Then you have to figure out a way to make the team function around him. And if you aren't able or aren't capable of doing that, then perhaps like a Morata, like other strikers that we've had in the past or seen in the past, club is kind of irrelevant. They move on.
So do you still believe in Werner? Do you still believe that there is a top striker?
I never believed in him in the first place. So what do you mean do I still believe? Like, no.
So you weren't for Werner. So you weren't saying that HH man Werner is that dude.
I don't care who Chelsea buy. I don't think you understand this about me. They
But
could buy somebody from
Daniel, you told me Werner was the guy, man. You said it was the guy.
they could buy somebody from what'd you say? Obalande under the bridge.
Balende.
It wouldn't matter to me. It wouldn't matter. So yeah.
All right, man. Eddie, talk to me, man. Timo.
Yeah, look, what I would have loved to see, I mean, we'll get to some certain players, I think, next to the game, and I'll probably touch it more on the game, is the few counter-attacking opportunities we got. I would have loved to see us be a lot more effective with that, because I think that's where Timo Werner excels the most. I think that's the one thing we haven't seen in this game properly this year. Where Chelsea are not the greatest counter-attacking team this year, if that makes sense. A lot of our season has been predicated on us controlling possession and holding the ball and trying to control the tempo of the game. So I would have wanted to see us, especially in that second half, under pressure, with the amount of opportunities we got, utilize him a bit more. There was a point where he actually, I think it was the Kovacic one. The defenders just let Kovacic have it. Like, the other ones, you could see Timo Werner was trying to like do something, and at one point another player ran into him. So it would have been nice to see him maybe get the ball earlier. There was one with I think Mason Mount. Oh, we'll get to Mason Mount soon. There was one with Mason Mount where I felt Mason Mount should have released the ball early. I think it was the first counter.
I remember
first counter opportunity we got, and by the time Mason Mount released it, Oreo was already behind Timo Werner, where if you gave him the ball early, you don't know what happens with it. So, yeah, that's the only thing that I would have liked to see. Other than that, man, it's looking bad. It's looking bad, man. I'm not gonna lie.
Go ahead, Eddie.
Yeah, I mean, I said 20 goals last week. I stick by that. But,
Are you sure about that? Are you sure?
I'm backing my boy, man. 20 goals minimum. But look, I think I want to say it's a Chelsea thing because when you look at the squad, yeah, how many creative besides Ziyech, who really creates like great opportunities for strikers? Like, I mean, yes, Timo Werner's missed chances early in the season, but if you look at the last month or two, how many chances that's like, okay, you have to finish that. Do you see us creating? It's more or less.
I talked to Eddie. We're gonna get to Homeboy.
I'm getting to that.
Sorry, Homeboy is a separate thing. We'll talk.
I'm waiting for that, man. I'm waiting for that. But that's why I still cut Timo Werner and our strikers a bit of slack, because when I see our strikers get the ball, this is not a Timo Werner thing. It's like they have to create opportunities for themselves. Because if you watch this game again, there was a chance he got at the end of the game where he had to take a few touches. I felt he should have taken an extra touch before hitting the ball, which smashed Dyer in the face. Because you take that extra touch, you're able to sit in net, you're able to curl that ball in. But he just wanted to smash this as quick as he could. So, look, I think he'll come good. It's just people. What we need to understand is you don't solve problems like him or the squad in a week. Which we'll touch on again when we get to breaking down the Spurs game. So there's still a long way to go. Things were bad when Lampard left. Lampard's only gone I think a week and a half or 2 weeks.
Yeah. It takes time. It takes time.
It takes time for us to get things back on track, man. So look, I'm still sticking with 20 goals minimum, man, but it's not looking good.
All right, so Daniel, before you say, let me just hit this. So, JU says drop Timo for games, first touch crap, scoring crap, basics crap.
I don't think basics. Nah. The guy still made that penalty he won today was actually a smart thing if you watch it, because he put his foot in the way of Dyer.
But Dyer was stupid. The guy was
stupid. Yeah, Dyer was stupid. But if you watch what he done, if he didn't place his foot where it was, Dyer would have cleared the ball in the first instance. So
Dyer
the fact
kicked
that
himself before he kicked.
Yeah, but if you watch what happened when Dyer
I'm not giving Timo credit for that one, man.
I'm giving him a bit of credit, man. It was a smart play.
Other than falling over dramatically.
I think go watch it again. Dyer was in a good position to kick the ball away, but Timo placed himself there, so Dyer wasn't able to reach the ball, which is why he kicked himself. But yeah, you can go watch it again and see.
Wait, so Daniel, you want to say something before I
No,
cut
I
you
was
off?
just gonna say just quickly that I've been having a lot of discussions lately about the Bundesliga tax, so I'm gonna bring that conversation here.
I saw that.
Wait,
Let's bring that here.
so this is divided by 2.
Yes.
You're still keeping it to 2.
Although I think I'm gonna divide it by what I'm
Daniel Fibonacci.
I'm working on the formula right now, so I'm doing my own kind of Newton algebraic equations, and I will release the official formulas at a later date. I'm thinking it's divide by 1.8, but I don't want to get too tricky with people. So the Bundesliga has a lot of space, is the ultimate point. I think Eddie touched on something quite key, where Chelsea have 70%, 60% possession. What space is there to run into if the opposition team is just sitting in their 2 banks of 4 within the pressing guys?
You can't count and run into the space.
There's no space for you to run into. In the Bundesliga, it's like basketball. We have it, you have it, we have it, you have it, and there's so much space to where a player like Werner can get in behind, use his pace, and then the amount of chances that you generate, he can be wasteful. But if we create 4 chances, he'll score 1. With Chelsea, you're not getting, 1, the same kind of chances, and 2, you're not getting the same volume of chances. And then the chances that he does get, he's not confident. So I think it's a combination of those 3 things that we're seeing. So, yeah, this is why be wary with all this Haaland talk, with all this whoa talk. Because, again, Jovic was ass at Real Madrid. He goes to Frankfurt, and now he's the greatest thing since sliced bread again. So
Bundesliga sucks.
Hey.
I would lie, my friend. Talk, man. Talk about Werner, Timo Werner.
I think people are kind of too harsh on Timo Werner. We've been harsh on Timo. If you look at it to this match, like I wanted to say,
my friend, did you see how this guy try and control the football? He said so hard. Did you watch the match?
I watched the match. Mm-hmm.
And you saw how he was
and I'm gonna come on something. I'm gonna come and Mason Mount. Proper Chelsea fans, you all are stupid and
my friend, we're gonna get to focus on Werner. My friend, focus on Werner. Focus on Werner. That one's for other one. Focus on Werner, my friend.
Wait, man.
I think Werner
just move around left to right.
All we need is just a creative player like someone like Kai Havertz and I can say someone that can find passes and those passes. Kovacic was doing it, but Kovacic was indecisive. He was thinking, should I shoot? Should I pass? That was the problem with Kovacic. But overall, it was a very good match for Timo Werner. Will get himself. He will be fine. He will get himself. It's just about getting that goal. Once he get that goal, I think the confidence will be back with him. He will be very back. He just need to get that goal. That goal is missing. That goal. That killer touch is missing.
Wait. Are you sure your insights? Because can you hear the sound is a bit? Yeah. Because whenever you're speaking, the sound.
Your mic is too much.
Yeah, maybe reduce the volume of your mic. Your
can you guys hear me now?
We can hear you, but it's like kind of crackly.
Yeah.
It's cracking. Maybe come out and come back in. Refresh. Come out and come back in. Oh yeah, come out and
Wait,
come back in.
Before it comes back in, quick question. Would you have given Mason that? Would you have given Jesus and Mason? Would you have given Timo Werner the penalty to take?
Yeah.
I was thinking about that.
But
what if he misses?
Exactly. Chelsea only.
I mean, he missed one last week.
How many clear cut chances did Chelsea create in the game? 2 or 3?
0. Clear cut.
Yeah, Mount had one that Lloris saved, so that's a chance. We can count that one. The penalty's another one.
Yeah.
But other than that, there wasn't much.
Chances.
So if you only create 2 or 3 scoring chances in the game, do you give one of them to Timo Werner or do you give one to a penalty specialist?
You have to give it a
penalty specialist.
Have to.
You have to give it to Jorginho. You would like to give it to Werner. If you were up 2-0, up 3-0, give it to him. Let's see if we can get 4 or 5 in that way. But if it's 0-0, do you give it to the guy who's low on confidence? And man, if he misses again, you plummet him further.
Yeah.
But I'm looking at it from the sense that Jorginho was kind of low.
I'll bet you he wouldn't even want to take it.
No, I'm looking at it from the standpoint of Jorginho was pretty much low on confidence with penalties as well. I mean, you saw today
he's a known specialist.
He dumped the skip that he usually does, which was quite funny because when I saw it, I was like,
can you guys hear me now? Can you guys
Yeah,
hear
we can hear
me?
you. We can hear you. Sure.
Yeah,
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 that's
we
much
can-
better.
we
That's much better.
His lack of skip caught Lloris out. Like you could tell Lloris was waiting for the skip,
With his-
and then he
yeah.
did it, and then he
Yeah.
put it into Lloris's right. But no, for me, Mount would be on penalties. Sorry,
Huh?
but Mason Mount would be on penalties if I were the manager. That's what it would be. So
I know for me, I would still give it to Jorginho because he's been taking penalties since the Napoli days. My thing is with Jorginho, just stop that hop, skip, and just take the damn thing.
Yeah, just
don't
smash
don't
the ball.
skip, take the damn thing.
But
And
if part of his penalty taking genius is that gimmick, once the gimmick's gone, he's just shooting it straight in. Like Lloris guessed where he was gonna go. If Lloris was a little bit faster,
but you scored though. I mean, I would put more faith in a guy who is experienced at taking penalties over subsequent years than a younger 22-year-old coming into it. Even if I know that he can, I'm like, it's a penalty, man. You know,
I
especially
trust Mount's technique, bro. I trust Mount's technique.
okay. So in the 90th minute, you would give it to a
Yes, because
That's why Mason Mount missed his only penalty this season.
I trust the way he strikes the ball.
That's why he's missed. Wait, Daniel, he's missed his only penalty this season.
Who cares? I trust the way that he strikes the ball. So has Jorginho. Jorginho's also missed penalties,
Yeah,
but
but-
you guys seem to think it should go to him. So people will miss penalties. That's
no,
fine.
no, that's true. No, because I'm just saying it from the sense of somebody who has.
If an official
experience taking
striker isn't
penalties.
on the pitch, like if it isn't Tammy, if it isn't Giroud, then give me Mount. That's just my opinion.
Okay. Abdullahi, you're back. So Timo, finish what you said about Timo.
I think the problem with it is we need more creativity in the pitch, and I can understand Timo Tuchel kind of fitting into a kind of a system with the team together. I can understand that. Ziyech and Kai Havertz needs to be played more. That's when Timo Werner will have more chances and score goals. So I think we're being too hard on Timo. I think with time he will get himself together with time. Just
So
about
you
that.
still believe in him to come.
He played very well today. I won't lie. He played very well today. He played so well today. He played very well. It's just about the lacking of killing instinct. That is what the problem is about Timo Werner. It will come good. It's all about time.
You say very well. Jesus.
Very, very well.
Yeah, he played well today. Timo Werner,
My
I won't
friend,
lie.
what kind
He
of
didn't
football
play
were you
crap.
watching?
He didn't play out of
What kind of-
out
what
of
kind of football were you-
100%. Out of
My friend,
100%.
I swear,
You
Abdullah, you're
saw-
watching some black and white TV, bro.
You saw
Like,
how he was
you're looking at the
dispossessing
wrong
ball and
players.
losing ball. How can you say that he was playing with? You saw how he
Okay.
dispossessed and losing
The
ball.
difference between Timo Werner under Frank Lampard, the difference between Timo Werner under Thomas Tuchel. There's a difference between that. Under Frank Lampard, Timo Werner was class A, was a scholar already, but under Tuchel, it's kind of improving. So I won't put that much blame on
Okay.
him.
Apart from winning the penalty, what did he do that was so good in this game? Please tell me.
His movement was good. He has a very good movement. Apart from that, he didn't really do much. But I think with time, with time for me, it will get better. It's all about timing.
Don't give me.
It's all about
movement,
timing
man.
for me, though.
No, don't give me movement. You're a striker.
Did you know what's so funny is that?
I just did some research, by the way, Eddie. Mount hasn't taken a penalty in his career, so
No,
there
he
you go.
missed one against Tottenham in the league.
In the Carlington Cup.
In the League Cup,
The show
the one.
I'm just going. I'm just going by transfer mark. I'm going by transfer mark.
Get out of here
It
with
says
transfer
zero.
marks, bro.
It says zero. It says zero.
And the best penalty taker in Chelsea at the moment is Kai Havertz. It's not even Timo Werner. And
Yo.
where Chelsea makes it's Kai Havertz. He has 100% penalty taking rate. 100%. It's
See all
Kai
these
Havertz.
names? You see all these names? Chelsea need to go. Chelsea need to buy a specialist. If it's Jorginho, people say Jorginho, Havertz, Mount, the strikers, basically anybody.
There isn't like
because there isn't
penalty
one
to
guy
that.
who you
I mean,
trust.
I think it was clearly Jorginho up until he started missing this season. Like, Jorginho was the known penalty taker on the team. I mean, you saw the nonsense with Barkley last season where he took the ball off him. But
Was that penalty in a penalty shootout, or was it an actual penalty? 'Cause there's a
penalty
difference.
shootout. Penalty
Shootouts,
shootout.
Okay.
penalty
Oh yeah,
shootout,
I remember that one. I remember that.
Yeah, that's the reason Chelsea got knocked out of the cup. So I mean, it was clearly Jorginho up until this season when he started missing, and people thought his confidence was gone. That's why they wanted someone else to take it, which is where Werner came on and scored a couple of penalties. But Chelsea haven't had a penalty in 2 months now. Up until the Luton game, where Werner took it and missed, and it's like, okay, bro, his confidence shot. Like, we need to change it up again. So Jorginho is a specialist in the team. And you give it to whoever's best next, which is Werner, in my opinion. So Yeah, I don't think I was just asking in terms of Werner needs a goal. Do we give him that goal? But what Daniel said makes sense.
Yeah, I mean, in the context of, you see, no, for me, see, why I said give it to Werner is because I thought that Chelsea would get quite a lot of chances in that game. So in hindsight, I was like, oh, it's a good thing because yeah, Chelsea didn't hardly have any chances in the game because obviously, as we'll get to it, there were issues with creativity and actually attacking. So before we go to our next thing, so shout out to your boy Dungo Kamau who says, I think Southampton will be the better game to see whether Werner can come good. Well, speaking of Southampton, let's hope those guys
9-0.
recover from their resurrection that they had. But no, I mean, if you've just lost 9-0, are you going to come out attacking in your next game? Bro, those guys will probably start defending with every man, woman, and child after you just got lubricated 9-0, man. And so let's talk about Mount. Now, people said that Mount was the best. So basically, he was given man of the match. So this
What?
is, yeah, he was given man of the match.
Jorginho was giving man of the match. It was Jorginho.
It was Mount. It was Mount.
No. It was changed back to Jorginho. It was back to Jorginho. Jorginho.
How did I change it back to someone?
It was Jorginho that was giving man of the match. It wasn't
It was
Mr. Mount.
Okay, no,
NBC and NBC just confirmed it.
there we go.
Jorginho.
NBC. See, I am watching. That's interesting.
I
is
live in America, so I watch Peacock and NBC, so they confirmed it was Jorginho.
Okay, because obviously I think basically the man of the match is always the co-commentator who is either like the former footballer or something, is the guy that always gives the man of the match.
Yeah, so I think it was given to Jorginho.
Guys, pause. There are different men of the match depending on which broadcaster you listen to.
That's what I was-
So Abdullahi's in America. The man of the match was Jorginho. Half Hope is correct when he says in BT Sport.
Yeah.
In England, they gave the man of the match to Mason Mount.
No. Basically, that's why I was going through. Basically, the man of the match is denoted by the co-commentator for the commentary team. So your co-commentator in NBC is different from my co-commentator for BT Sports. So the co-commentator here gave it to Mount. So
And I saw another website gave it to Alonso. So there were like 3 different men of the matches.
Yeah. So BT Sport named
BT Sports.
and
BT Sports.
NBC named him. NBC named Jorginho. So it is different man of the
You
matches.
see, it'd be very interesting to if I knew who. Do you know who the co-commentator for NBC is?
Probably like Lee
I think
Dixon
Ian Dock
or-
is Ian
Yeah,
Dock.
No,
I think he,
No. Cole.
That's the co. It's either Lee Dixon or Graham Lasso.
Graham. No, I think it was Graham Lasso that gave it to him.
Graham Lasso. Okay, that's interesting. So here's my thing, because if funny, so basically I think Nix tweeted to me and said that Mount should be the first name on your team sheet because he's one of your best players. And then I just retweeted saying ha 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 in big letters because I always like using caps lock. Here's the thing about Mount. I actually think that Mount is actually doing much better. I can see Mount doing much better under Tuchel than Lampard. I can just see that he actually fits well into the passing rhythm of the team. He unlocks the ball well. He understands the movements of people. And I just think if what Tuchel is trying to do with regards to really shifting the ball out quickly and in a passing system, he fits well. He's not out of place. But here's the thing. It's about standards. I never said Mount is a good player. I think Mount can develop into a really good player. But he has a ceiling. And I can already see the ceiling that he has. I cannot see somebody, unless he miraculously does something crazy, I cannot see this guy becoming a great player or an amazing player or an exceptional player or one of the best players in the world in his position. I can't see that. I got to see him as a useful person. And I think that's in that game, we'll talk more in the Tottenham game in detail, but when you're the attacking midfielder, there is a particular... I know he's one of the best at it, but look at it, De Bruyne. The passes that he sees, other guys don't see. Or peak David Silva, where Ozil, where these guys, they just see passes that you don't see. Because see, this thing about Werner, I'm annoyed with him, but Abdullahi does have a point. He is always making those runs. He's always making those runs. He's always trying to find himself. He's always trying to peel off. So if you have confidence in your ability and you have the skill, you can find Timo Werner with a through ball. I don't know he has the acceleration to get to that through ball as well. But I just think in that position, you need a smart, intelligent, risk-taking passer. And Mount just does. I don't think he has that skill. So it's not about him not working hard or so forth. It's like it's something that's it's hard to teach. Is that you either have it or you don't. Hence why I say Mount is a good addition to a team. He's a good complementary thing, but he's not a difference maker. He's not the guy like boom. De Bruyne, that pass changes the course of the game. That pass to that guy that led to that goal, boom, that changed everything. So it's that kind of difference you can make in how the team operates, because Chelsea were screaming for, you have the possession, you have the control, someone do something incisive. Go diagonal. Try and go alternative. Try and do something that nobody will see, but just too basic. Okay, yes, the overlap. Okay, yes, you wait for the guy to come through. Okay, through ball here. Okay, wide man. It's just, occasional ball into the pocket. Okay, no, carry the ball. Go forward. Look at the diagonal. Find a want to drive into the channel. Because if you don't try something different, if not for that penalty, do Chelsea score? I don't know. I really don't know if Chelsea score if not for that penalty, because
It was a
Chelsea
lot
were
like
halfway.
the Wolves game, where
Not to the extreme. Not to that extreme.
Obviously, it wasn't that extreme because Wolves are a better team, or Spurs are a better team than Wolves. I mean, but it was just very basic and safe.
That's the key word. Safe. Because everyone was doing this, I say, it's just very safe. It's very safe. Nobody is really trying something interesting out of the ordinary. So, and for Mount, I've always said that he is a guy that he isn't spectacular. He isn't out of the ordinary. He's
Why
like,
did this fall on
good.
Mount's shoulders, though?
No, because
I'm curious because like there are other players in the team where you would think you should do that too. So Hudson-Odoi didn't have his greatest game. Reece James had opportunities to get forward and wasn't too.
No. The reason why I'm saying Mount
We
is
already
because,
talked about Werner. So.
Yeah, no. The reason why I'm saying Mount is because people said, okay, Mount was man of the match. He's one of the best players, and he had a great game. So
That's
I'm just
because
trying to
you're watching
dissect his
English
game.
commentary, bro, and you know what they're gonna do. He's gonna get the next 12 in a row.
I know, but this is just for like we all know. But this is just to explain to those guys out there, is that for Chelsea to get to that next level, because remember, you always have to aim for the stars, aim right there for the stars. For the next level, Mount, you play a very crucial position, because that position as the attacking midfielder, the guy going into that number 10 pocket, that is a very key position where you need very high pass IQ, and you have to be a difference maker that is really trying to get Werner into the game, trying to get Hudson-Odoi into the game, trying to get all this into the game with interesting passes. So for Mount, it's just that he's not spectacular enough and he's not silky enough for what Chelsea needs specifically in that position. Eddie, talk to me.
Look, Mount today. Mount got the most freedom I think he's gotten on that Tuchel. I mean, it's only been 3 games, but you watch the second game on the weekend against Burnley. He was in that right half space because he was playing with another 10, if you want to call it. I think Werner was playing like a 9.5 and Mount on the other side. Today he got more freedom than around that number 10 area, just in between the lines, between midfield and the attack. And that's the difference between him under Tuchel and him under Lampard, because under Lampard he was playing further back and he was trying to drive things forward, and he was trying to you're trying to start things from too deep. It doesn't work, man. Whereas under Tuchel it's like, okay, if you want to kick things off early, we'll get Kovacic to win the ball, get the ball, and then you can play in whoever you want to play in quick, so we can get goals. I think that's the plan that Tuchel is trying to go with Mason Mount. But man, it's bland potatoes, man. I'm not gonna lie. like HH said, it's safe. No spice, zero seasoning, no X factor with this guy, man. Like, don't get me wrong, he had a good game today, but if Chelsea, like you said,
he did have a good. He had a good game.
Yeah, he had a good game today, but there are levels to this, man. Where if Chelsea are gonna get to where we want to get to, like, look at your Brunos. Like, you can talk about, Bruno is not the most fantastic player in the world, but he can give you that moment where you go, oh shit, we won the game because of this play. Look at your KDBs. KDB doesn't have a 7 out of 10 performance every game, but there are games where he can come in and KDB actually had his effect on this game. I know what I'm going to get from a Mason Mount. I'm sorry. I know what we're going to get from a Mason Mount every time he plays. You get effort, you get him pressing, he'll pop off 1 or 2 passes. He actually dribbled. I think he dribbled Sissoko today, and I was like, wow, he actually done something. But in terms of that X factor, that guy who can link up the whole attack, I don't think he's that guy, man. I just don't see it yet. I know people want to throw his 22 in my face or something in the comments because I mean, see it. Look, Mount is 22. Bro, this is not about age, man. Like, this is Chelsea Football Club. There are levels to this.
Jao Felix is
Felix
20,
I
21.
was going to get there.
Fati
Jao
is
Felix is
16,
19.
17.
Are you going to take Mbappe in this club? Yes, you would. He's 21. So no one throw age in my face or shit like that, man. So there are levels to this. If he's going to be a Chelsea player, he needs to up his levels. I'm not saying he's bad. Like I said, he's had a good game today, but in the big games, I want to see, I don't know why, what's his name? Ziyech didn't play today. I would have loved to see Ziyech. Pulisic is he's having he didn't have a bad game today, but man, he's so far, man.
No, just very quickly.
This season with Pulisic.
No. Someone made a mention, and I don't want to say this. So I'm saying this like on the deal, just on the deal. After the restart, was that like a flash in the pan after the restart?
That might be, man. That might be it. Because look, Pulisic is not looking good as well. This season's been poor from him.
I thought he was top 3 in the world.
He's already.
Can you mute your mic, Daniel? To look.
He's already. He's already. I mean, Pulisic is already made of glass. So the fact that he's not performing doesn't even help either. So that's another one. But look, I want to see guys like I'm not saying Mount shouldn't play, but he can't be a starter every game. And there are games where you can play him. This is not the game. Against low blocks, I don't think you want to play in that much because, like Daniel was saying, when you play against low blocks like this, there are areas where the space is, and you have to attack those spaces. That's what you're supposed to do, or you have to, do things that can draw players out so you can create those spaces. You watch the first game, the Wolves game. Ziyech was always coming deep, so he could take a centre back with him and create space for Hudson-Odoi to run into. I don't see Mount doing that. Like, people want to talk about all the stuff about on the ball and stuff, but how are you helping your teammates get into the game? How are you helping other people even without the ball? Ziyech does that. Sometimes Havertz does that as well, where they'll come back, take defenders off, attack the space real quick, and that's how we get goals. So he's still got some things he needs to improve on. But right now, look, I don't know. I think he's just going to be a rotational player. Well, one more thing. I think the English media and some of these journalists, they're a disgrace, man. Like, trying to rub Mason Mount or force Mason Mount in our mouths is just annoying at this point. Like, I was watching the press conference again. First of all, half the conference was about Tottenham, asking about Tottenham because of a comment Tuchel made like 5-6 years ago.
Yeah.
And then the second half, part of it was talking about, I forgot what the question was on Mason Mount. And it's like, bro, there are 22 players in this squad. Hudson-Odoi has easily been the best young star since Tuchel came in. Ask him a question about those players. Like, ask a question about anyone else. Why does it have to be Mason Mount every time? But look, this English media thing, man, it's annoying. And I think I'm getting to the point where I'm probably going to accept what Daniel said last week about Mason Mount playing 500 games for Chelsea. You have to take him, man, because that's what the English guys want,
All right, Abdullah, talk to me about
it. Sorry, Half-Hope, but like one of the questions said something to the effect of Mason Mount has been earmarked to be the backbone of the England national team. I don't. Do you remember that phrasing, Eddie? I remember.
Yeah, I remember.
I was like, I've never heard that before, but. If that's what they want, that's what they're going to get. Or
that's what I'm saying.
They're going to make sure that they ask enough questions to where Mount is always present in Tuchel's mind.
See, for me, just take it. Which is why for me it's like, I get it. I told you this. I went to school, and for me, my schooling in England began from how old was I? I was from 12 till 20 something. So I've really seen it and. So I understand English people. I know them better than they know them themselves. I get them. I know how these guys think. These people, they are very prideful. And they live and die on English, the right way. And they will rather die than change. So they think of hard work, grafting, real hardcore, putting in and stuff like that from school, from coaches, from schooling. They drive that stuff in. And there are times when in school I'll be like, bro, but this guy can dribble. He's good. But no, you take him because he's the teacher's pet. He's the chosen one. He does things the way you want it to be done, even if you know that this guy is better. He's the better player. So, and for them, the way they just shove it in your face again and again. And what they do, because I think it was Micah Richards, he even was saying this about how when he was coming up, guys were like, touting him, this is the next big right back. And Micah Richards said that they bring you up to pull you down. We made you, we can break you. Which is what they tried to do with Bex, where you put this guy Bex and stuff and everything. And then when that whole thing happened with Simeone, the newspapers slated him, destroyed him. You had people like putting nooses and other. I think there was a newspaper, I remember in 98, where there was like a noose or something to like hang, like an effigy of hanging David Beckham. So the way this media and try to just put so much pressure on young players, it's crazy, because all I say to the media is let them prove themselves. Let them truly prove themselves, because the issue is, even right now, it's even much more dangerous. Because if they now read all the stuff you say in social media, they will buy into it. And when they buy into it and so forth, when they don't perform, everybody will now attack them even more. Because once this happens, that it makes people have an extra hatred towards them. You don't say that. What is this whole stuff? So what you're doing is only detrimental to guys who are not ready. See, you can maybe do that for a Foden who may be the real deal, but for a Mason Mount who isn't the real deal as much as Foden, it could be more harm than good for him, because when he now gets exposed, it could look even more ugly. Abdullah, talk to me.
I think this is a problem. Before the match starts, some proper Chelsea fans were saying, what does Alonso offer? Alonso needs to be inducted. I was like, are you guys stupid or mad? Are you okay? Are you guys brainless, or you don't know what you're saying? If you are Frank Lampard in as a manager, get the fuck out of Chelsea Football Club. Go and support another club. It is getting irritated.
Let the man leave.
It is getting irritated and frustrated at the moment. I don't like it anymore. Lampard is not the manager of Chelsea Football Club. Get out. It's as simple as that. Go. So I keep saying it. The reason Mount was playing too much today was because Kai Havertz was injured, and I can understand that. But proper Chelsea fan, can you tell me what this idiot offered today? This guy, 2 chances and a miss. Reece James on the right, Timo Werner on the left. Pass the ball, you were shooting. Shoot, Marchant. Shoot. You can shoot. On their shoot. On their shot. No one entered the net. No one entered the net. So proper Chelsea fan, use your brain. Use your brain. Don't go on and be saying stupid idiot. If you're Lampard in and you suck on Lampard, go support Lampard. If it's coaching Accrington FC or Lisbon FC, it's good. It's a Chelsea Football Club. This club has an identity. So don't just come here because you love Lampard. So you don't want to say the truth. No. It's not good enough to be Chelsea manager. That is simple. I don't come and tell me Mason Mount is better than Kai Havertz or Mason Mount is better than Hakim Ziyech. No. Don't be dumb. Use your brain and use your eyes. Don't use stomach to watch football. No.
How did
analyze football? Get out.
Tuchel. How did the Mount play in this game?
No. It's pissing me off. Before the match, people are kind of slating Marcus Alonso because what does he offer? Can shoot. What does Mason Mount offer? I want to know. Come out and tell me what does he offer? 0. So use your brain, man. It's pissing me off. I'm getting angry already.
My friend.
This is rubbish, man.
My friend. So you're saying that Mount does not offer anything?
Absolutely rubbish. All what he's doing is take the ball from the military, shoot. You are shooting to where? You are shooting to Alima local government in Nigeria. Where? What's going on? I'm getting pissed off already. What the hell is going on? And those English pundits, Harry Redknapp, James, what was their name? You guys are idiots, bunch of clowns. You guys are a bunch of clowns. Lampard is sacked. Don't get that man out of Chelsea Football Club anymore. He's sacked. Let him go and relax. I beg. There's a new forward in Chelsea football at the moment. It's a new forward, new regime, new atmosphere. I don't want to hear any stupid Lampard in at the moment. I don't want to hear it. It's getting me pissed off.
The thing about this is that, look, as I told you, we've got a man marvelous that who bring in for the Tottenham thing. But see, my thing here is that let's just keep it simple. He's not that great. He's not that great because, see, what the English media will do for you is, I'm like, is there something that I'm missing? So almost every pass he makes, like, man, that was a damn good pass. So you will even put extra sauce because the English media is sort of messing with your brain, like, man, look at that pass. But say, wait a minute, let's just remove everything and just look at things objectively. Kovacic, in every game, I'm like, without thinking, yeah, like, it's instantly Kovacic, yeah, that's the guy. That's the guy.
He beats the press for fun, bro.
Like,
With the camera.
it's effortless. It's effortless. It's like, yes, that's the guy. But for me, I was like, what is it that I'm missing? Where, okay, it's decent. It's decent. And almost if I say it's decent, you now get attacked for it.
Yeah, that's
You saw a chance in the first half.
My friend,
There was
Daniel,
with
you're a
James.
wordsmith. My friend, look, Daniel, you're a wordsmith. Isn't decent good?
I mean, it depends on how you say it.
He's decent. Full stop.
It's insulting technically. Like he's decent. It's not saying he's good. It's not saying he's okay. It's not saying he's great. It's just he's decent. That just means he's like a 5 out of 10, 6 out of 10. Decent. Which, to be honest, for a Chelsea Academy product, that should be acceptable. It's the idea that if I say Mason Mount is good, and then you say no, he's great, you're disrespecting him. You can't flip my words and make me mean something that I don't mean. I mean he's good. That doesn't mean I think he should play 50 games a season. It just means I think he's good. And that's all it is. But people want you to go that extra step. Like, no, he's the cornerstone, the foundational piece of the team. I don't believe that, and you can't make it.
But because see, the thing about it is that again, look,
It does kind of sound disrespectful.
yeah, see, again, I told you, I am ready to attack any of these useless people. Nini is a friend of mine. I've met him in real life. He's a great dude, and so forth. So when Nini says stuff, I can't say too much because I'm like, that's a friend. That's a friend. All I can say is we agreed to disagree because obviously you shared that thing in the group, Eddie, with what he said about Mount and so forth. And
Oh, go ahead.
AJ, you know what pissed me up today in today's matches? You know what? Proper Chelsea fans were like, Mason Mount is this, Mason Mount is that. He saw 1 chances in the first half. Reece James was on the right, Timo Werner on the left. This idiot shoots. The same thing happened in second half. Reece James was on the right. I was like, idiot, pass this ball. This man shoots. I was like, give me hand product, 0. What the hell is going on?
Like,
no. Remember that chance when Hudson-Odoi gave it to him and then he just scanned that ball over.
Exactly.
And
Pass.
like,
There's player waiting for you. Timo was kind of, give me the ball, and that idiot shoots. I was like, was the best player. Really? He was the best player.
Because
so
see,
Albert will say that ball will shoot.
No, because
Akim Ziyech will shoot light.
see, my friend, look. See, because my thing is that Mount, you play a very crucial position. It's a very crucial position. It's that final third where you need critical key decision making. And for those critical plays, it just doesn't pop off. It just doesn't pop off. So, I told you, this isn't a time for process and everything. It's like, okay, Chelsea now have to now take and move things over to the next level. Mount is simply not the required talent for a very crucial position in the team.
exactly,
I
right?
think you guys are going too far, man. If I'm
Daniel,
honest.
Man.
decision
Okay,
making.
Daniel.
Mason
No,
Mount
wait.
is
See,
poor.
my God,
Very poor.
Damn up, relax. Daniel, okay, let me ask you this. If Chelsea are looking to win the Premier League, or not say they will, looking to win the Premier League or looking to win the Champions League, Mount starting in that number 10 position, is that realistic? Where he's the starter in that number 10 position, is that realistic?
Yes, I think it can happen.
Look, it can happen. Like if you look at it depends on
At 22, no. At 24, 25, 26, the player he will become because he's getting minutes now, yes.
But we just don't know. We don't know
we don't know
it will
that,
be.
but-
You asked me a hypothetical, so I'm
Oh
responding.
no! Now I said now. So no, we have to deal with it.
They were in ninth place. Of course not. But if you're asking me to project, then yeah. Or they were in ninth. I guess they're in sixth now. But yeah, when I say you guys are being harsh, I mean Tuchel is playing with a back three with wing backs. He's obviously trying to bring solidity to the team. So the creative burden, like you can't put that on one player. So to say Chelsea aren't creative, that's Mount's fault. You have to look at the system the team's playing. You have to look at the players in that system. Then you have to look at, even if he does create a chance, who's it going to? Timo Werner. Is he going to score? No. So putting the complete burden
How
on
many chances has he created for him? How many clear-cut chances has he created?
No, I'm saying even if he did,
create a chance first. Create a chance first. Don't just talk hypothetically. Create a
Danny,
chance
I
first.
disagree with that. If you look at the way Kai Havertz and Hakim Ziyech play, you are telling if Havertz saw those chances Mason Mount saw today, it will pass. It won't shoot like an idiot. Decision making is poor. You can't hold the ball from the midfield and just shoot. When the player is telling you, give me the ball, and you shoot, that's a poor decision making. It's the manager don't. You play football, manager will tell you what you know when to shoot and when to pass and when to dribble. There's a difference in that. It was taking the ball from the midfield. Two players was there. Reece James on the right, Timo on the left. It was like pass the ball. Why will you shoot?
We've been doing this for how many months now? You guys know I don't want Mount in the team. But I'm saying the extent to which the vim that you guys are giving him right now is not warranted given the performances that he's had. Now, if I was the manager, he would be on the bench. However, the fact that he's not playing bad enough to you be calling him an idiot and
nobody
rubbish.
said
that's only Daniel. That's only one of us here, man. Like, come on.
Is this guy saying? Is this guy?
It's the guy. I can't point to yeah,
it's Abdullahi's loan, and then the signatures of Have Hope and Eddie alongside. I'm just
No. It's not. No. My friend, let me be like here. Daniel Oga, my friend, relax. My friend, I never signed anything. I never said anything. Let me reiterate myself. I'm not. Abdullahi is calling him an idiot, and the mumu. That's him.
Exactly.
Mount, all I've said for him is that you had a good game. You are not the level that I need and is required for this position. You can help, you can assist, but when it comes to Atletico and trying to win trophies, I'm sorry, you're not there yet. You are not of the required talent, silk, and technique needed for that position. That's all I'm saying, because I need spectacular, I need top tier. Hence why I'm like, Ziyech, boom. Tuchel, let's live and let's see what could pop off. It's as simple as that.
Yeah, I mean,
you're good, but you're not the required level. Simple.
Let me flip the question to you. Do you think if Mount, how would I word this? Project Mount's development. Do you think he could be an integral piece in a team that wins a Premier League?
Hard to say, but from what I've seen, I don't see a guy progressing to a top talent that can help to win a team. That's just me using my what I've seen and then trying to predict. I don't see that. I don't see a guy progressing into that level. That's just me.
I've said based on I did say last week based on what I've seen that, and I think I mentioned the same thing last week that based on was it the Burnley game or the Wolves game? I said if you give Mason Mount a certain area of the pitch, say that right half space, and say, okay, coordinate this side, it might benefit him more than giving him the whole attack because he's got too many options. Yes, I do understand the fact that he's young, he's got things to learn, but then allow him to learn those things. That's what I'm saying. He can be in a starting Chelsea team, even this season against Atletico. He can be in a starting Chelsea team based on how we play. You go to the Wolves game, we play with 2 10s. You know, they can interchange and stuff like that. He doesn't have the whole creative burden put on him.
Yeah, so give him something very specific. Don't give him too much stuff.
Exactly. Today you could clearly see that he was the guy to run that Chelsea attack.
Which is the wrong move. The wrong move.
Wasn't there to pop up passes and stuff.
That's the
coach's fault. That's Tuchel's fault.
Like, no, it's not Mason Mount's issue that he's in the team.
Yes, I do get that.
The media wants him.
Yeah. That's my problem.
You should be strong enough to ignore the media.
Daniel, my thing is, once you step on that pitch, I'm judging you based on how you perform. Like, what I saw today was you're in charge of the attack. That attack was not popping up. Simple. And I'm judging based on that. I'm not saying he's a bad player. I'm not saying he could be the best player on the Premier League winning team in 3-4 years. Good. That I'm talking based on the information I have right now, and he doesn't have that X factor yet. Can he start in the Chelsea team in the Champions League? Yes, of course. As one of the few tens, yes.
If Doc Rivers put Rajon Rondo for the Celtics at center and put Kevin Garnett at point guard, and Rajon Rondo gets dunked on by some center over and over and over and over again, I'm not going to blame Rajon Rondo. The coach puts you in
That's
a
bad analogy, bro. That's a horrible analogy, bro.
I'm just like, yo, if a coach puts a player in a bad position, then I don't blame the player. I blame the coach, the people who are making the decisions. If Mason Mount isn't capable yet of orchestrating an attack, which I think we all agree on, then why is he in that position? That's not up to him. That's all I'm saying.
But Daniel, but Daniel, how did this start?
Player obviously fails in a position that you can clearly see he's going to fail in. How can you blame the player for that?
No. But Daniel, how did this whole thing start? It started by, I know what the truth is, but it started by he was given man of the match by the English media, and if you go onto Twitter right now, they say Mason Mount was Chelsea's best player and key player. So what is about is no, but it is always very key to have it on wax. It's easy for us to say it in Twitter and a DM, but now it's on wax. It's on YouTube, so now you can now see and explain. You can ignore it if you want to, but it's on record that no, this is what it is. So it's out there that him doing that isn't the requirements needed for that position. What he did performance-wise is not the requirement for what Chelsea need. So it's like, what is your benchmark? Maybe your benchmark is, hey, academy player, he did well, a few passes, it's cool. Now, I needed to create, which is what you just said. There were no clear-cut chances created for Werner.
That's why I hate the chances created stat, because that chance he gave to Werner will go down as a chance created. But how much of a chance was that really? You pretty much
Those
gave him
stats
to
are bogus.
exactly. So when people tell me, "Oh, he's created most chances this season," can you use your eyes and look at the chances he's creating? Like, don't tell me, 50-something chances created. How many of them lead to clear-cut chances that you can actually finish off? No. If I need to still do some work, then that's the one thing they give Mason Mount a lot of credit for doing the simple, basic things that I expect of a natural footballer.
Basic.
Like Daniel tweeted today, people were posting Mason Mount and fire emojis for one run. No one was in front of you. All you had to do was pop a simple pass, and you couldn't get the pass off. Similar to the game against Burnley last weekend. Credit Jorginho for giving Mason Mount the ball early, but no, let's not do that. Credit Hudson-Odoi for giving the pass to Spilicueta to finish. But everyone wants to jump on the fact that Mason Mount got the ball and gave it to Hudson-Odoi. Come on, man! Like, you can't always have it both ways. Credit actual players who do stuff, and don't credit this guy for doing simple, basic things. Making runs, pressing, yes, that's all good. That makes you a 6, 7 out of 10 player. But you're an attacking midfielder. You need to take that extra mile. Give us that X factor. Give us that 9 out of 10. Like, take more. HH said it, take more risks. Like, we haven't even got to the fact that this guy skied a simple cross he had to make today. Like, I don't know if you guys remember that football he tried to chip. I just
kind of feel like this is verging on like bullying at this point, because what can he do? Better yet, what do you expect from him?
Wait.
That's the issue. Like, do any of us here expect Mason Mount to be the fulcrum of a Premier League winning team?
No.
So when he behaves as we expect, what's the issue?
No. But Daniel,
the issue isn't him.
No. Danny, you've just ignored what I've said, like for the third time now. How did this start? There is a narrative out there that Mason Mount is Chelsea.
I already acknowledged, and I thought we put away that we understand what the English media and what proper Chelsea fans will say. I don't care about them. I care about what we're saying.
No, but we have to still explain it, because if that is out there and we know it, we have to put it on wax. So it's on wax, boom, it's out there. Just knowing it isn't enough. Illustrate it. So, okay, what do you think? Oh, bro, hour 45 to hour 1, there you go. Clip the link. So nothing more needs to be said. Okay, it's done. Boom.
Let me just wash my hands of the topic. Fine.
So, So okay, look, we're gonna bring in your
Before you talk, let me
Daniel,
respond to
what do you want? What do you want, my
what
guy?
Daniel says. See, no. See, Daniel, look at what Mr. Mount said. He said, I don't have my shooting boots on today. That is something I work on during the week. It's a bit different. I've been playing a bit deeper. So to be up in the box a bit more, I need to work on that finishing. So hopefully it can come in. So my question to that is, does the manager tell him to shoot? His decision making is poor because he has a lot of a lot space either to passing or to shooting. That is not what you tell a player. As a football player, you know when to shoot, when to pass, and when to dribble. This is basic. A manager doesn't tell you how to do basic. This is simple thing. Basic football you play with 5-a-side, you play in Africa. You know when to shoot and when to pass. This is basic. Ziyech cannot be dumb and do that stupid thing. Kai Havertz is 21. He can't do that. So, for me to tell me he lost his shooting boot today is bullcrap for me. It's BS.
Hey, Abdullahi,
Okay, no.
Let the guy live, man. Look,
Let him live.
let's not go on the guy too much. Like Daniel said, it's not on. Wait, no, I'm not. No,
Mount,
Daniel,
I love you, Mrs. Mount. We love you, Mrs. Mount. If you're out there, we love you.
Hold on, Abdullahi was taking it too far there based on what the guy said, man. Like some play. I mean, Werner hasn't had a shooting boot all year, bro. Werner hasn't had a shooting boot all year.
George just want to bully one more small guy like this.
That's why I had to call. I had to. But
move, get out.
To the point Daniel was making, just before we move on, to the point Daniel was making on the fact that it's not Mason Mount's fault and probably we should look at the coach. You still have to look at the fact that Tuchel's still trying to assess the team.
Yeah.
You know, he had to bring a player like Rhys James today. He had to play Hudson-Odoi in that, you know, inside forward space for him to go pop off wide and stuff like that. So I'm not going to put it all on him unless it becomes a thing where, okay, like Lampard, Mason Mount's a staple on that team and becomes, you know, a starter every game. That's when I look at Tuchel and go, yo, man, maybe the English media is getting to you too much. But I expect him to reduce his minutes and coordinate things effectively. But for now, let's just let things ride, man.
Yeah, look, just lastly, I'm an equal opportunity objector. The exact same smoke I had for Lampard doing stupid decisions, I think that same logic has to apply to Tuchel. I don't care, and Tuchel's even more experienced to know better. So it's almost a worse mistake than Lampard doing rookie mistakes, which you would expect from somebody who hadn't managed except for 10 months.
But I'll still give the guy time though. Havertz is injured. Don't forget that he wasn't available for this game. And I think the reason why he probably didn't play Ziyech was probably fitness related. Remember, he said Ziyech couldn't play half an hour over the weekend. So this is only 3, 4, 5 days later. Maybe that's increased to 60 minutes. You don't know. So I'm keeping things in context at the moment that I wasn't mad Mason Mount started today. I was just talking about the performance. Simple. So,
all right. So let's before we're going to talk about Spurs in detail. Yeah. So from Dungu Kamau again, thank you for the dub. Says, wow, I watch NBC Sports to hear that Mason Mount got man of the match from BT shows a clear agenda in England. Yes, sir. Martin Rosario says, Tuchel treble coming, baby. Hashtag trust the process. Latin Rosario, can you worry about Juventus, please? Worry about your Juve. From hey, it's our boy AAA Films. Great show, guys. Honora, who we obviously had a few weeks ago, my childhood friend. Natsa says the hates on Mount show. Relax, there's no hate on Mount. We love him.
It feels that way. We
love him. Ignore those guys. We love that guy. We love him. So, guys, remember, shout out to everybody that's in here. Remember, guys.
Look what y'all got me doing, defending Mason Mount.
Mute your mic, guys.
I didn't want to be in this position.
Guys, Manscaped, man. These are our sponsors, Manscaped. In the description box below.
With your lady, use Manscaped.
Use the Manscaped. So, guys, in the description box below, use the code CCS. You get 20% off. The description box below, this is our sponsors, Manscaped. Look groomed, shave your balls, look nice and pristine. It's a great package that gives you lots of stuff. Use the link below in the description box. Use the code CCS, get 20% off, and get that Lara Croft, man. So, shout out to my man, Marvelous in there, man. You know,
Firstly, what's on your head?
Isn't that like a blanket?
It's my beautiful regalia. But I just want to say really quickly, Abdullahi, I don't know if you guys have ever seen this video, but this is exactly how you sound sometimes.
You can never You can never make it. Dinner man serving dinner to the students in secondary school. You cannot do basic 1+1. You are living heavy like a dog.
You will never make it.
You are a failure. You are a failure. You can never make it. You know you cannot make it. You'll be cutting glass, making this place for the actual callers that want to use this place.
Oh man, this is.
You are here. What have you done? Useless. Me with my pregnancy, I'm better than you. Idiot.
Nah, stop, man, stop.
I love you, Abdullah. I love you. Never change.
What's so great. Okay, so guys,
The issue is I don't hate Mount. Like people say, I don't
this
hate Mount. But the problem is when it's no, let me just respond to that. Let me respond to that.
Abdullah, please.
When they start making
Abdullah, you've said
stupid
too much.
decisions,
Abdullah, you've said too
that's when
much.
my problem comes in.
Yeah, it's okay. Meet.
Okay. Relax. This guy, Mr. Man. Okay, so let's talk about the Spurs game. You see, one thing about the Spurs game is this: the defense has not yet been tested. It's not yet. So we still don't know actually how good Rudiger really is coming back in the team, because in the 3 games that Tuchel has had, Chelsea have had like 70-80% per possession. They're not been tested. You see, if they had faced Tottenham with Harry Kane, it would have been a very interesting game, specifically how Tottenham counter. Tottenham without Harry Kane, bro, I mean...
We need to have a Bale discussion on another podcast. I hope.
Yes, we do. Because that's a very scary discussion for another time.
Oh.
Very scary discussion. Because I think I missed the boat on that one. But I think, again... I still want to see the defense tested, which we've not yet seen, which is, I think, a thing that is obviously worrying coming up to Atletico. But my thing about it is that when in these games, when you have possession and when you're a counter-punch team. Counter-punch, team comes to you, boom, how can we counter-attack? Because we're always going to have space. Now, if you have possession, as I always say, false sense of control that you may have in the game, because you can always lose concentration, counter-attack. They can then let you in. So the thing that frustrated me about this was there's no creativity. When you're going up against a team that is obviously very defensive, suffering offensively, many men behind the ball, you need someone that's going to try and take a risk and try and change the course of the game. I say it again, if Chelsea did not have that penalty, I don't know if Chelsea find a goal. I just don't, because I think Tottenham defensively, their defensive personnel is a lot more resolute than Burnley were. Because for using that Chelsea, we're always going to find a way through against a weaker team defensively, Burnley as opposed to Tottenham. So Ziyech, I just think it wasn't fit, but I wanted to have seen Ziyech in this game in the sense of, okay, just somebody with a bit more craftiness, with something new. I would have loved to see Havertz in the game, but of course he was injured. Like, it was screaming for, okay, Mount, you've had a good solid game. Let someone come in for 20 minutes and just give a different tact, because I just think that what is worrying is they've not really found that creativity through the middle. And I think for a Hudson-Odoi and a Rich James also so forth, I think Hudson-Odoi was better in the previous game, but I think in this game he didn't really get into those attacking positions well enough. Is this to do with perhaps you at wing back, you have much more space to maneuver, and you now being at wing, there's less space, and that maybe restricts you more? I don't know. That may be a factor. But the performance for me, I think, it wasn't, I'll be honest with you, it wasn't great. There were some promising signs and so forth, but it wasn't great. I don't think the team really came together and worked in unison, chemistry-wise, specifically in the last third. Kovacic is going to Kovacic, and I say that every time I see him play, just the way in which he plays, I'm like, oh man, this guy, he beats the press, he moves forward, he's got great control, how he just evades guys, and how he just turns from midfield to attack is just beautiful. But between Hudson-Odoi, Reece James, Mount, and even when Pulisic came on and Werner, that attacking unit didn't really connect. there wasn't really that great of an understanding. And I just don't know whether it's let them grow or, which is what I'm thinking, this team maybe needs a Havertz and what he can bring to this setup. Because we've not seen Havertz in a multitude number of games with this kind of setup. We only just saw him in that first game. Took us the very first game. We only had 24 hours. And then Havertz had, 10 minutes against Burnley. So I am really want to see Havertz and Ziyech much more, giving them more time in this Tuchel system. Because, that lasted. It wasn't really popping off for me. Daniel.
Yeah. One thing I was kind of curious to see was when Thiago Silva got injured. Would Tuchel be a little bit creative and instead of doing a like-for-like switch with Christensen, perhaps then seeing where the game was going for those first few minutes, why not try maybe Azpilicueta and Rudiger at center back, and you revert to a back four, and instead of putting on another center back to continue with the back three, why not put on another striker or Ziyech? Because it was quite obvious that Spurs had little intent to do anything until the game reached a certain period, and then let's kind of open up a bit. So I would have liked to see maybe Tuchel press a more attacking button instead of just we'll just stick with the back three and Christensen can come in the middle. That's partly because I don't really trust Christensen as a player or as a defender in that way. But that's something I would have liked to see. But yeah, again, I think we've kind of gone through this, especially the Mount point. From a Chelsea perspective, there was a lack of creativity, which can kind of be understood given the pieces that were on the board. And Spurs were just kind of Kane-less. So that has its own set of consequences. But, by the way, there's a difference between playing well and having the ball. And I think that's key to point out. A lot of people thought, especially in the first half, Chelsea probably had 70%, 75% possession. Because we had the ball, we played well. No. Spurs, you had one shot on target that was a penalty. If you don't create anything with possession, you can make the argument that the team that's defending is the one who's controlling. Because you have the ball, cool, but what are you doing with it? Nothing.
Because there was a stat that said 15 shots for Chelsea, 2 on target, 2 shots for Tottenham, 2 on target.
So who's actually controlling the match? Especially in the first half was when I was seeing this. Yeah. If you have 70% of the ball, but you're not doing anything with it, I can make the argument that the team defending is the one controlling the game because their counter-attacking plan is bearing fruit. You have the ball, you don't do anything with it. We get the ball and then we can run. It just so happened that Spurs again were Kane-less, and that kind of cut down on what they could do. So just having the ball doesn't mean you've played well. It just means you had the ball, and the other team can control whether or not you have the ball in some instances.
Eddie?
Look, it was 3 points. Bad Tottenham. Inconclusive on Chelsea because I didn't learn nothing new this game. Can you say that? And Daniel, I don't know how you wanted a new striker, man. Can you imagine what that back four would look like? Rich James, Aspi, Rudiger.
Spurs had no intent.
Alonso are fullback.
Like anybody. So look. Christensen coming in the game. I'd rather just have the striker at the top of the pitch because I don't trust that guy. So
true. Because at the end, I was having heart attacks, man, with the crosses coming in, especially them attacking the Rudiger. I think the space between Rudiger and Alonso, they were attacking that a lot towards the end of the game. So,
and slightly, I wanted to see Alonso at left back so then he could go back in the Brick Academy.
Look, but like I said, it was more bad Tottenham than anything to say about Chelsea. The only thing I'll probably say now is I don't know how Rich James is gonna fit in this team. Looking at how we played today, I think if he doesn't have Ziyech on that same wing with him, it might be a bit meh for him because
I think him and Aspi be competing.
Yeah, him and Aspi should be competing for that right center back spot, not the right wing back, because you can see that yes, he's got a good cross on him, but he's only got one move, similar to like a Willian, get to the byline and put a nice cross in. I mean, he's got variety in his crosses. That's about it. But what else can you do? Like, he can also play inverted and pop a shot off or stuff like that. But that's those are the two things he can really like do properly. So I'm a bit worried for Rich James at this point because his game, like, I would have preferred to see Hudson-Odoi on the right wing back space because he stretches out the field for us, creates space in that half space between the fullback and the centre back. So that's just one thing I kind of noted from today. Hudson-Odoi in that inside forward space as well, I don't think was too effective. I think what you also saw was he tried to drift to the right as well, which started clashing with Rich James on that right side. So those were some things that kind of caused issues. So you could see that it was the pieces didn't fit today. That's what I'm going to say. The pieces didn't fit. You didn't have space created for your Alonso to say what's up. Alonso didn't have much to do today. He didn't have space. He didn't do anything. Alonso could just sat on the touchline, man, up until the end of the game where he had to do some defending. Like, and the fact that we're having a conversation about Jorginho being the man of the match says a lot. Because Jorginho didn't have too much to do. The Spurs midfield was dead. When I say dead, besides Ndombele, Ndombele gave them life. But what's his name? Højbjerg and Sissoko. Sissoko had one job to mark Mason Mount, and this guy was making Mason Mount look like prime Beckham or something or whatever. And Højbjerg, I don't know what this guy was doing the whole time, and I think he was supposed to be on Kovacic, and good luck with that. So look, it was the talking points from this are more about Spurs, more about Mourinho and stuff like that. I can only assess individual players and go, okay, he was probably good. He fits.
So I'm like, what would he have changed though? Like, what would you have changed differently? Because it's hard because Havertz wasn't available. Ziyech, we think it's a fitness issue.
Well, someone did post in the comment that Ziyech said he was 100% fit, but I don't know. Maybe it's the word of the player versus the coach or whatever. I would have kept Hudson-Odoi right wing back. I do understand why he played Reece James though, because I think I've mentioned it that against some teams you need to be a lot more defensive. So for the odd chance, you'll probably need to go 5 at the back. Reece James worked better than Hudson-Odoi, but I would have liked to see Hudson-Odoi stay there. I would have played maybe Giroud with Werner on the inside forward position. That would have probably helped a bit more. Given that we're playing a lot more through the middle now, that would have been something I feel they should have tried, especially given the fact that Daniel saying we should have probably had 2 strikers as well, which I kind of agree with. So that would have been something to try. What else? Alonso on the left wing back, I still believe the double pivot should be Conte, Kovacic, sorry. Jeez, Jorginho. Because right now, even Jorginho hasn't been tested. Like, you saw the second half when they started to press us and do all that. They were getting us, man. Like, against the high quality team.
That's the thing. This team has yet to be tested.
Man. Exactly, we're yet to be tested. So, look, so far so good. It's 1 week. I think it's exactly 1 week now to the day was appointed, or 1 week to our between our first game and this. So 7 points, you can't argue with it. Top 4 race is back for us, which is the good thing. And I think our next 4 or 5 games are winnable up until the Metro. So look, let's just see what improvements we can make up to then. I think it's still assessing the players. This is more of a free kind of thing to give players game time, see what they can do, see what they can't do, and then he'll make a decision at the end of the year. So that's why I can't get too much about the team selection. It's just seeing how players will fit. And like I said, the one worry for me today was with James, and hopefully Zuma's fit, because I don't trust Riga in this team at all. I honestly don't trust that guy. Even the thing is, Riga and Aspilicueta, I don't trust them because Aspi doesn't have the pace to take on.
But I think he's more defensively solid than Rudiger. Rudiger is an issue.
It was interesting that you said, it would have been it would have been good to see Harry Kane play today, because if someone was going against Aspi, I would have been worried. Like, if Harry Kane controls the ball, draws Thiago Silva out, and you have Son versus Aspilicueta, that's pretty much like Aubameyang and Aspilicueta in the FA Cup final. So look, there's still a long way to go, but it's a good start, man. Well, I'm not going to be too critical of
Okay.
Tuchel yet.
So, before I go into so my dear friend, football down under. Well, maybe you're next door to Eddie.
Don't be next door to me, man.
Look. This is called the Complicated Chelsea Show. This is so there are plenty of Chelsea fan channels where you can go to where when Chelsea win, it's much more celebratory. You look at these guys here, we are quite real guys and so forth. And a few of us are missing headlines and so forth. We put things real. Okay, so if you're coming to see guys say, hey, yeah, Chelsea won, yeah, this is the wrong place. It's YouTube. There are many other channels you can go to for people to celebrate anytime Chelsea win, even if the performance is subpar. We're trying to win a CL. Easy! I lied. We're not trying to win anything.
Semi's minimum.
I'm like, talk.
I think this overall to this match, we can't really judge Thomas Tuchel that much because it's been a week, and since he talk about the team, I think he's still assessing the kind of team at the moment.
You know how funny it is how his character has just changed. Almost every single time it was like, but it is like this. It's like, well, we have to give Tuchel time. I think he's slowly coming. Sorry, continue.
I think it's a difference between having a proper manager and having a class A as a manager. That's a difference.
Oh my god! No.
So,
We're not.
I think Tuchel needs to be
you are banned from saying his name. Talk about the game.
It needs to be given. It needs to be given.
Mention his name. Kick him out.
I think Tuchel needs to be given some time to implement a system into the team. I don't think long time the three at the back will work. I agree with what Daniel said. When Thiago Silva was injured, I would have loved us to go to back four. Aspi with Rudiger together because I don't trust that guy. I don't trust that. At the center back, I don't trust him. So I think we should have gone to
in a three. He works. In her three, he works. But in a two, no. I don't know how you guys want to see a two of Aspi and Rudiger.
Maybe I think Tuchel should have taken a risk. Maybe just attack.
Can you imagine Mourinho looking at that and going, "Boys, let's go"? Because you could tell Mourinho came to defend that game. But if he saw Rudiger and Aspi,
but Eddie, this is Mourinho though. Would he take the risk? Would he take the risk?
Firstly, Mourinho wouldn't respond the way that a normal football manager would respond. And in the event that he did, the more open space that the game had, if Spurs come out, the more that benefits Chelsea with the better players.
But my thing is, how do you defend the long balls though? You need to play first half. They were playing long balls. Thiago Silva was obviously the guy stopping those.
We've seen Azpilicueta at center back before. He's not that bad. Like in a two, like we've seen it before. He's not that bad.
But I think it's been a while since, because the thing about the defensive partnership is it's a partnership. That's the key thing.
Yeah,
those two have to work in. Yeah, so those two have to work in tandem. I think that the risk could have paid off, but it is a risk.
You don't have to continue the game with it, but just if you score a goal with the extra attacker, then you can take off a Mount, you can take off a Hudson-Odoi, and you can bring on Christensen and revert back to a back three. But I would have liked to have seen him take initiative rather than just keep it the same, because the same was obviously as Half-Hope outlined. Do you think Chelsea would have created anything outside of the penalty?
No,
probably not.
They didn't. So I can understand why he does that. I think the big miss we missed today a lot was Kozuma. Because if you look at those corner kicks we were playing, Kozuma will have scored at least one or two corner kicks there. I think we were kind of missing. When Thiago Silva was out, I think the ideal replacement was Kozuma, but I can understand he was injured. So overall, back thing is not in a long time. It's just for the moment, kind of assessing the team till the end of the season. I think next season, or maybe after 2 or 3 months, that's when I think he needs to assess the team and say, okay, this is my starting 11 from now on till the end of the season or till the new season coming up. But playing the back three is okay at the moment because it's time to assess the team, see which player fits in more and which player needs to go. I can understand that the Jorginho Kovacic worked, but my worry with Jorginho Kovacic is when we play United, when we play City, how does that work? Because those are quality teams who hurt you on the counter. That is where N'Golo Kante needs to come in, because if you have Conte and Kovacic, Conte knows how to defend, and he knows what. You don't need to tell Conte what to do. He knows what to do. You don't need to tell him anything. He knows his job. So that's why I said when you have Kovacic and N'Golo Kante, those two pair, could work under Tuchel because both understand the kind of way they have to play.
So, what do you think is the most ideal? Three at the back, 4-2-3-1, 3-5-2.
No,
What
I
do you think is the
think
most ideal?
4-2-2-2 will work much better.
Which is what he did at PSG.
Yes, 4-2-2-2 because when you have Kovacic and Ugolo Conte can play more as a DM, then Kovacic could push forward, or Ugolo Conte can play more forward. The way he play Idrissa Ganagay at PSG because he has Marquinhos.
So you're then saying that the striker would be what, Werner and Giroud as the up two?
Yeah,
Or Werner and
but for
Havertz?
me, I would try Kai Havertz and Timo Werner because Kai Havertz has more height and is very good on the head too. So, but if I tell Giroud is not bad, I think I would kind of risk it. People may say kind of disagree Giroud and then Timo Werner, but I'll try Kai Havertz and Timo as a false nine.
I hate this. We can't have double standards here, man. We hit on Lampard a lot for playing Mason Mount on the wing, and now you want to play Havertz when you know he's a 10. You want to play him as striker. No, it doesn't work. The guy's not going to work, man.
That's why I said 4-2-2-2 work because you play more as an inside forward behind Timo Werner.
You said
as a false nine. It works. You could play him as a false
nine. False nine is a striker position, but
it works very well. You could play Giroud.
No, because I would like it. I remember, I was watching. I made it a point. So, okay, you know what? Especially during the whole COVID thing, to work Leverkusen and so forth. Now, Kai Havertz can run into the box and so forth, but his main position is in that number 10 position. A striker, the discipline of a striker is very different from the discipline required of a number 10. Because you put him as striker, you will probably take away a lot of his talents, which is the fact of his passing, his creativity, his ability to supply, and his ability to make those late runs into the box. As a striker, you can't make those late evasive runs into the box if you're in that striker position. So my thing is that it's got to be Werner, Giroud, Werner, Tammy.
I think Havertz could play as a false nine. It's just that you can't play him then alongside Werner, because they'd be trying to occupy the same space. So the only way Havertz could work in a false nine is if you play 4-3-3 and have him kind of like just as a relaxed. And then you would need
you need two inside forwards like
and like you would need like a Mane
we don't
Salah
have those play. Exactly, we don't have those players, man.
Chelsea don't have that.
I get it.
But yeah, I don't know if they could work together, but maybe.
That's what it could try because Ichit was talking about creative player. That's where Hakim Ziyech comes in because Ziyech, I would love Ziyech to play as more as a number 10, not as a winger. If Ziyech plays as number 10, it's more of a creative player as a number 10 because all ball goes to Ziyech, all ball goes to him. Now, so you can play Ziyech and Oxnard as a right wing, then you play Pulisic on the left wing. So that could work well because now Ziyech is a number 10. So he can kind of pass, shoot, and distribute. But I can understand if people say they want Giroud and Timo Werner. I can understand that. But I'm just saying maybe it could try the formation and see if it's going to work for me.
All right, let me bring in
Marvelous. HH, 1 second. I'm going to dip in a sec. But football down under, let me know where in Sydney you are. I mean, I'm in Sydney as well. So if you know football, we can probably talk. Hit me on Twitter. Hit me up on Twitter.
Yeah, man. Link up.
Yeah, as far as this formation thing, I think 4-2-3-1 is the way to go, man. Long term, but I mean, Tuchel's versatile enough. I don't want to predict any formations for the future, but yeah, 4-2-3-1 most likely. So peace out, people. See you guys next week.
Eddie, see you next week, bro.
See you,
peace. Nice one, Eddie.
Top 4 semis minimum.
Marvelous, talk to us, man.
I think the inclusion of Reece James into the team served to limit Hudson-Odoi. I think Hudson-Odoi would have worked better.
One thing, can you like flatten the blanket? Because it's really messing with my head. I'm sorry. It's messing with me. I'm sorry.
Yeah. Flatten. There you go. Better.
Thank you.
I think Reece James would have worked. I think you just messed with my point. I think Hudson-Odoi would have worked much better playing at right wing back because he would have had the freedom of that whole right part of the field. And I think that would have done a lot to help open up spaces. I think Hudson-Odoi at times looked out of place whenever the ball would get into that final third. And it didn't help that Mason Mount lacked that final pass. Mason Mount was unable to unlock the Tottenham defense. I think Werner he's having a confidence crisis. He just looks out of sorts when the ball is at his feet. It's almost as if he never expects it, and when he gets it, he doesn't know what he's going to do next, whether he's going to shoot. It appears that when he does shoot, he rushes his shots. I think Eddie pointed out earlier he had a chance where he smacked Dyer in the face, where if he took another touch or two, he would have been able to just place it into the bottom left corner. With Mason Mount, I understand Abdullah's perspective, and I also understand HH's and Daniel's perspective. I think Mason Mount is good, but he's not great. He is not the necessary ingredient in that position. He lacks the technique. He lacks the presence of mind to see when runs are being made, which is a necessity if you're played in that role. I do agree with Daniel that because he's getting so many minutes, when he's 25, 26, 27, we can make like an educated guess and hope that he would be a more accomplished player. But in this present time, he's not. I think Havertz would have worked much better in that position for this game. And a fun fact, might I add, and twice, if not triple as many minutes, Mason Mount only has one goal and assist contribution more than Havertz. Only one. So regardless of Mason Mount playing 50, whatever amount of games, he still lacks the end product, So that stat is very, very
Wait,
telling.
what? Gatlock, or can somebody in the comments verify? Like,
Yeah, verify.
Does Mason Mount have the same goals as Jesse Lingard?
Oh,
think
yeah.
so.
He do, yeah. Mason Mount has two goals this season.
Yeah.
Two
Two
Premier
goals.
goals this season. Yeah.
And yeah, and it's you can see that even when Havertz does play, no matter how clumsy people say that he looks on the ball, he brings a calmness. He brings a certain weight of passing. He brings a certain vision into the whole equation that Mason Mount just for whatever reason does not see. I think Mason Mount relies so much on his passion, his pressing. I always say this thing on Twitter and I get attacked for it. I think Mason Mount runs around like a headless chicken. He just runs around with no direction. He just, once the whistle is blown, he'll run his heart out. And if he's able to get a goal, he'll slam on the badge as a Chelsea product and Twitter will go crazy about it. And the English media just love that about him. What Daniel was saying about how Tuchel was asked in the press conference that he's been picked to be the backbone of England's future generation. That phrasing, that wording says a lot because he's already being planted into the head of the English populace as
He's the industry plant, bro.
He's an industry
He's the plant.
So when Abdullah says, "Get out, idiot," whatever Abdullah says, I can understand where that perspective comes from. And I think it's important that people know that different broadcasting corporations have different man of the matches. And BT Sport, being English, gave it a Mason Mount. But there are Russian broadcasting corporations, if you watch illegally, that gave it to Kovacic, So my overall thoughts, I feel like Tottenham, we played them at the right time. I don't know what's going on over there, but they lack.
So if it was Tottenham with Harry Kane, do you think Chelsea win the game? Or hard to tell?
I think it's a draw.
You see, I think if Harry Kane's there, it leans more towards being a draw. But then I also think we may have won it because I think they would have attacked a bit more and they would have been a lot more space that we could have worked with. I think Tuchel just breathed in new life to Kovacic. In all Chelsea matches that I've watched, and I haven't missed a Chelsea game since 2004, which is absurd, but I haven't seen a Chelsea player beat the press the way Kovacic does.
No, he's that dude.
He doesn't even break a sweat when he does it. I think Jorginho, I think you pointed this out in one of the shows either last week or this week. Jorginho was very deceiving. in that first half, he looked like a comrade. He looked very controlling. But in the second half, when Tottenham picked up the pace and started to press, he almost just got caught out. He was like clumsy. He started to panic. So I think in games where we come up against tougher opposition and like Atletico, maybe it should be Conte. Maybe it shouldn't be Jorginho. You know. And for everyone that's saying we're Debbie Downers and we're too hard to be pleased, this is the complicated Chelsea show. Emphasis on complicated.
I mean, no,
Overall, though, we won the game. 3 points. I'm happy.
anyone want to make any final points about Spurs before we move to our final topic?
Can we agree that Ose is finished?
This is a
Can we
Chelsea
just-
show. I'll talk about that on Saturday. And also the answer to that is no. I want to.
And also, I think I also saw his comment. He said, if truly that is what Ose said, and I think you need to induct him. He said the penalty that was given to Chelsea was not a penalty. It was the grass and the raining that caused the team Werner to slip up. How is that not a penalty? Ose, how?
Look, man, look. Jose will Jose. All right, guys. So, guys, what we'll do a nice little throwback here. So, this is our throwback thing. So, I'm going to throw up and this one is apt because I think this is in conjunction with what we've been talking about. So, I'm going to throw it up and just give me your.
This is the complicated Abdullahi show.
So I'm going to throw it up and then you guys can view this whole thing.
Someone in the live chat just said I look like I have a rare artifact.
You look like E.T.
Yikes. You see, I don't even think about Chelsea really when I see his face. Like, yeah, he's in the shirt, but I still consider him Arsenal,
And
Barcelona.
Barcelona, Spain.
So, yeah, I think about like World Cup and actually, I've been doing some research on like Chelsea 2012. He messed up, man. Like the Barca tie in 2012, he should have played better. But yeah. 14-15, he was incredible, especially like for the first 20 games of the season. Then Mourinho just decided ironically after the Spurs game where they lost 5-3, Mourinho was just like, okay, let's just put the brakes on. And the kind of creativity, it ended up with Hazard scoring 1 goal each game and then winning 1-0 like 5 times or whatever it was. And I think he scored a goal against was it QPR?
Daniel.
In the game. So
Daniel, I'm sorry. We lost to Arsenal 3-1 and Jose changed it.
No. It was 5-3.
Daniel, I am 100%. We lost to Arsenal 3-1.
On New Year's Day?
After Jose Mourinho came out and said he doesn't like games that get too high scoring. And
2015. It was like the first game of 2015, and Chelsea lost 5-3 to Spurs. Now, Marvelous might be right with the time.
Okay. No, you're right. We did lose 5-3 to Spurs at New Year's Day. Okay, that's correct. Terry scored the consolation. You're right.
It's something in my head, but yeah. So that's what I think about. I think about Arsenal. I think about Barcelona. I think about the first half of that season, the pass to Schürrle in the first game against Burnley. I think it was really good goal, but
No, because I think Fabregas. Because I was watching a.
Why did you pick this image? Like, what was the reason behind it?
As in, why did I pick this image, or why did I pick Fabregas?
Yeah, why did you pick Fabregas?
No, because we were talking about creativity and passing, and then again, this is why it goes to the point. I remember, so during the lockdown, when guys were doing all these Insta live things, Henri did like an interview with Fabregas, and he talked about how underrated Fabregas is with regards to how good he was at passing.
Ooh.
And for me, it's like Fabregas, I feel, was very underrated. And it's like what he did for that season with Costa. See, Costa was good. The amounts of times Fabregas assisted to Costa, the amounts of it's the quality of the distribution that he had that was amazing. I think what you have to have in teams is that thing of a creator, a guy who can produce a pass that no one can see. I think is almost needed in every team, specifically an attacking team, because we just saw in the Tottenham game, basic, through ball, overlap, and so forth. But guys are always running and everything, and it's a mixture of your vision and your execution. Sometimes you don't see it, or sometimes you do see it, but you can't execute it. But someone like a Fabregas, he sees that run that no one else sees, and he can make that pass that very few people can make. And in terms of that, man, at his peak, he was one of the best at seeing runs that no one saw, and producing passes that no one could see.
You know, okay. I thought of two things quickly because my mind was just thinking. So the first thing, if there's any midfielder who's not strong, fast, who's not a PMP player that's like listening to this, watch Fabregas tape, because the one thing that you'll notice about Cesc Fabregas, and you say he sees things that other people don't see, the key in this is he's always looking. So the amount of times you'll see Fabregas, he won't have the ball, but he knows he's going to get it, and he'll look left, he'll look right, and he's always just looking up for spaces and knowing where people are on the pitch. So when he gets the ball, he's not going to run past anybody. He's not going to be stronger than anybody. But what he knows is he's playing chess. He's 3 steps ahead. So he knows when I get the ball, I'm going to catch it here, I'm going to pass it there. And he's always looking. And that's something that I think is important. Second thing I remember, I don't know what team this was. It was one of the Burnleys, one of the West Broms, one of the Stokes, one of those a Brexit team. Do you guys remember the game where there was like an argument and Cesc Fabregas was on the other side of the penalty box and he got a red card because he kicked the ball perfectly onto somebody else's head? I think it was Chris Brunt. So this might have been West Bromwich Albion.
Vaguely,
but
very vague.
The accuracy that he had to pick out one of the players and hit them in the head, and then the ref gave him a red card. That was like,
whoa. Oh, damn. Yeah, Daniel, I think we might have lost you. Daniel?
Hello. Mic check.
Okay, you're back. Yeah, you
Okay.
are here. Say it again. We lost you.
No,
for a second.
I think it was West Brom against, and I think he hit Chris Brunt or one of those, one of the Brexit footballers in the head. So yeah,
It was West Brom.
West Brom, he got a
we won
red card.
3-0.
Now, that's just one of my favorite Fabregas moments. That like the accuracy from the other side of the field to like ping this guy in the head, and then the referee obviously had to go give him a card. That's like my favorite Fabregas memory.
So anyone else wants? Abdullahi, I just want to jump in.
I think under Antonio Conte, I remembered when he gave him Diego Costa against Everton, when he passed from the midfield, when we were wearing kind of yellow shirts. I remember when Obama scored. So it was.
That was
Is
Mourinho.
it 6-3? That was 6-3.
No,
that was 6-3.
No, that was another 5-3.
Is it 5-2 or 6-3? That was 6-3. When we played against Everton.
It was either 5-2 or 5-3.
6-3.
Is it 5-3? It was 6-3 because
Everton.
under Antonio Conte, when
that was 2014-15. That was the Mourinho season.
No.
was it the Mourinho season?
Yeah.
Or the Conte season?
The first Conte season, we had a 6-3 against Everton.
Yeah, 6-3 against Everton. Yeah, that was under Antonio Conte.
Assisted Costa with the back.
Costa to score the goal. Yeah.
Yeah.
Mhm. Yeah, I remember the Fabregas pass also. I also remember the one we won under Burnley when they passed to Andres.
Wait a minute. I'd like if it's the game where Mikel scored or he had like a back heel assist.
Yeah, the back heel assist is
That was Everton under Antonio Conte. That was 6-3.
That was under Mourinho, man.
no.
Is it
It's
under Mourinho?
Conte. It's Conte.
It was under Conte.
Okay, don't
No, it
look,
wasn't.
my friend. Just whatever it was, what did Fabregas do in the game?
Yeah, I think for me, like, it's kind of the creative player we needed most in this Chelsea team now. Someone that can look up and pass. We complain too much about Timo Werner. If we have Fabregas in this team, Timo Werner will not struggle because Fabregas will pick up the ball and pass. He will look at players and be like, oh, that is where the player is. He will pass the ball.
See, that's the thing, though, is that how many players in this Chelsea squad have the ability to, as soon as they receive the ball, look up, boom, go. I don't think many of them have either the confidence or the ability to pass with the quickness of Fabregas, where he receives his ball, looks up, boom, 40-yard over, well-weighted pass.
Exactly. If we have kind of player Fabregas is when we had him then in this Chelsea team, I think the slander Timo Werner is getting will be reduced. Will be surely reduced because Fabregas will open up the play from the midfield and then pass. That's kind of the problem. That's what people want Kai Havertz to do, but he needs to be given more time to kind of implement the kind of way he wants to play. So we miss Fabregas a lot because those passes we can actually see it like we need that creative player. In this summer, maybe we can get the creative player. I don't know. But I think Fabregas, I can call him, all I can call is Mr. Assist. Mr. That's vision, the vision player, Mr.
All
Vision.
right.
Boom.
Marvelous. Talk to me.
Abdullah, before I say anything, someone in the live chat sent in a super chat and they said you look like Jermaine Dupri.
He looks nothing like Jamie Dupri.
Have hope. We have a fact check from Gatlock.
Yeah, it's Mourinho. You were right there.
I was correct again. Y'all guys
right.
stop questioning my Chelsea knowledge out this bitch, man. I know more about. I've forgotten more about this fucking thing that you guys know.
Well, I mean, you used to write for that company.
I didn't I?
Yeah. So lips are sealed. All right, Marvelous. Talk to me.
Didn't I?
When I think of Fabregas, it's very interesting because I think he values and appreciates what he did in a Chelsea shirt over what he did in an Arsenal shirt. If you look at how he left Arsenal and the charades and how the situation was handled, and if you look at how he was painted as a traitor subsequently by Arsenal fans and how he was celebrated at Chelsea, even though he was labeled as one of the rats under Mourinho, but that was very quickly forgotten because of what he did for Conte in that title-winning season. I think it's a regret that he didn't get a proper send-off and he didn't stay till the end of the season under Sarri. It would have been lovely to see him exit the club with a Europa League or any trophy for that matter. His vision was impeccable. I always think about that pass to Schürrle, one touch in the rain, incredibly hard to do. I think about his countless assists to Diego Costa. There's tens and hundreds of compilation videos of the connection that they had. And, it's just unfortunate. I think ultimately what he was celebrated for, which is not having to constantly run and having a great vision, kind of did him over. Because when Sarri came in and wanted him to play in that Jorginho-like position and he would get pressed, he lacked the pace to get out of it. And it's unfortunate. But I think he has blue blood and not Arsenal blood. I'm sorry.
I think when Arsenal had the chance to buy him back from Barca for like 30 million and they didn't do it, and Chelsea came in with the money, I think he was like, all right, man, fuck Arsenal.
Yeah, supposedly Arsenal offered 29 million and 99. Literally, they were taking
Wenger
was trying to bargain. He was trying to do the big.
Do you remember when Arsenal tried to buy Suarez for like 20 plus
one pound? Yeah. I was like, what are you doing? What are you trying to do? What are you trying to do, man? All right, let me read some of these things that I may have missed out. So, from Live Hard and Die, that's a bit more morbid. Yo, HH, what is the plan for ZH? He's a spectacular player we saw glimpses of during the first half of the season. Is this a joke by Tuchel? The ZH things, I just don't know. I just think that it has to be a case of he's not fully fit because I am sure Tuchel knows how good of a player that ZH is and how important he is. So my hope is that he's just not fully fit. I'll be shocked if he's seen ZH, he's fully fit, and he doesn't see how vital he is for this team because ZH, based on his ability and what he can do, is extremely vital. ZH under Lampard, that doesn't count because that whole situation was a mess. But ZH under Tuchel, I think, is going to be something that's very key that I wanted to see because I still say from the beginning, ZH is the key to this team. If ZH doesn't work, this team is screwed.
I think the problem was because Thiago Silva gets injured, and that was why Daniel was like, Silva was injured, you should have brought on ZH then and reverse as Pickota back to central back. Then we can see ZH. I think his plan was maybe after 60 or 65 minutes, ZH comes in and shows creativity and Mason Mount comes out. So I can understand when Thiago Silva was injured, there was no option than to bring up Christensen. So that was the reason ZH did not play. If it was 5 substitution, I can see ZH playing, but it was 3. So there was no more space to play ZH in. I can understand the reason why he did that. But I would have loved him to take more risk in playing ZH and putting that spectator back to central back.
So from what's this thing? From football down under, man. Thanks for the dub. If Chelsea if Chelsea beats Atletico, you have to have a meal for the review. Egusi and pounded yam must be eaten by hand. If Chelsea beats Atletico, I will probably do a 6-hour stream eating amala, iwedu, starch, plantain, and
That look, clip that.
That
look, clip it.
If I can find this, don't clip anything, my friend. Don't clip anything. And I think this is what our dear friend says. Marlo Stansfield, one of the worst, most evil characters I've ever seen in any TV show in my entire life. Him, Snoop, and Chris. If you know, you know. Abdullahi looks like Jermaine Dupri. No, he doesn't. He doesn't look like Jermaine Dupri. I know what Jermaine Dupri looks like, man. So guys, man, thank you very much for tuning in. So, thingy, marvelous. Thank you for being part of the show. We are doing this. So, guys, remember, man, help us, our sponsors, man. Shave your balls. Look good for the ladies. Look nice and pristine. Look as groomed and as wonderful as me. Look at me now. I've even shaved myself. Look at that. Skin deep. Link below, Manscaped. Click the link below in the description box. Use the code CCS. Gets 20% off. 20% off, man. As if they were really pay. So, guys, peace out.
Manscaped.
Stay real, and we'll see you guys.
Before we go, do you hear the news? Like, is it possible that the Champions League may be played on one-legged tie, not 2 more?
Oh, yeah, I heard because of some travel stuff.
Also,
did Chelsea interested in purchasing Eden Hazard?
I was just about to mention.
Yes,
Say again?
£50 million.
Wait,
Allegedly, Eden Hazard is being lined up by Chelsea Football Club for 40 to 50 million
this summer.
In the summer. Just a slight report.
Zad lives.
Good Hazard, good Zad, baby, good Zad.
HH, even though you have on those shades, I can still see in your eyes that you're excited. We know the truth.
Imagine good Zad on that Tuchel. Oh my God, good Zad. No more Messi slander. We have good Zad now. No more Messi slander. We're gonna have Zad. Good Zad.
So basically, Chelsea loaned him to Madrid for 2 years for 50 mil. And then
but you see, here's the thing, though. If he comes back,
he's finished though. Like,
if he comes back to Chelsea, that's an admission that that move was a failure.
Yeah.
Yeah,
but it has been. It has been.
That makes me sad for him. That makes me unhappy for him.
You guys need to look up an interview that Samuel Eto'o did in 2014, where he talks about Eden Hazard. It's very instructive here. But
I saw it also.
You saw it? Okay.
Who talks about Eden Hazard? Who
Samuel Eto'o.
What did he? Oh, is it where he said?
I don't want to ruin it.
He feels that Eden Hazard takes things too lightly, and he doesn't give as much in training to go to the next level, and he's complacent with being like the third best.
Yep.
All right.
A lot of people have said that about him.
Guys.
HH.
Zad,
Good Zad. No more slander. No more Messi slander. It's all about good Zad.
Thank you for tuning into the Complicated Chelsea show. We hope to see you next Thursday, guys. Stay well.
I didn't know you had that note, Abdullahi.